Prasad with your weather.
Let's tell you what's making the news tonight. Less than a day after Archie's exit, Ronnie Budu Singh is sworn in as TNT's new Chief Justice.
The opposition claims a lack of consultation in the appointment of the Chief Justice.
Shutdown averted and nutrient staff safe as the state intervenes over outstanding payments.
Coming up in sport, Presentation College hands Naparima its first defeat of the season as the SSFL's title race is blown wide open.
Tropical storm Melissa may be the next major hurricane. I'll have the details in tonight's weather report.
Less than 24 hours after Ivor Archie announced he's stepping down, Trinidad and Tobago has a new Chief Justice.
Ronnie Budu Singh took the oath of office this afternoon, with the Prime Minister endorsing the former Court of Appeal judge, calling him a man respected across the legal fraternity. Therese Polo has more.
Then Chief Justice Ivor Archie announced his sudden retirement on Monday. Exactly 24 hours later, Ronnie Budu Singh was sworn in as the country's 9th Chief Justice. In his maiden address before an audience that included outgoing Chief Justice Archie, Attorney General John Jeremy, National Security Minister Roger Alexander, and heads of the protective services, Justice Budu Singh sought to reassure the nation.
I wish to give you my commitment of hard work, of dedication to duty, and that through it all I will try to walk humbly.
Though only hours into the job, the new Chief Justice was already looking ahead, signaling his intention to strengthen the judiciary.
I will attempt to build on the platform of the previous Chief Justice and the Chief Justices who have gone before me to ensure that when it is time to move on, that I too, like Chief Justice Archie, would leave the judiciary in a better place.
Acting President Wade Mark congratulated Budu Singh on his appointment, describing it as a reflection of his integrity, dedication to justice, and long service to TNT. He also praised Archie for what he called an extraordinary contribution, serving for nearly 2 decades and leaving, in his words, an indelible mark on the judiciary. Archie, who led the judiciary for more than 17 years, becoming the longest-serving Chief Justice in the nation's history, officially demitted office on Wednesday. His retirement had first been hinted at during the opening of the new law term last month. Outside President's House, members of the media waited to speak with the incoming and outgoing Chief Justices as well as government representatives, but none stopped to give interviews. Doris Polo, CNC3 News.
But tonight, the opposition is raising red flags over just how quickly Ronnie Budu Singh was appointed Chief Justice.
And they're withholding support, accusing the government of rushing the process and failing to properly consult. Here's more on the backlash.
Despite just being sworn in, it's not smooth sailing for Chief Justice Ronnie Budu Singh. Opposition leader Penelope Beckles is now questioning the haste in which everything was done, and she's taking issue with the timing of her involvement. According to the Constitution, the Chief Justice is appointed by the President following consultation with the Prime Minister and opposition leader. According to a letter written by Acting President Wade Mark, Beckles was given a few hours to deliberate on potential replacements for Archie. She received the letter this morning and was required to respond by 1 p.m. He was subsequently sworn in at 2. She said, quote, "Adequate time should have been given for her to give intelligent consideration and an intelligent response in seeking the views of a cross-section of persons and entities in society, including the Law Association of Trinidad and Tobago." She called on the acting president to abandon any appointment of a substantive CJ pursuant to Section 102 of the Constitution and instead to revert to the appointment of an acting one. She nominated Justice of Appeal Prakash Musai to the position if he so desired. Beckles had previously been told through the Office of the President that Justice Ivor Archie was scheduled to be out of the country from November 5th to 10th, during which time Musai would have acted. That would have been derailed with Archie's sudden announcement of his retirement, while President Christine Kangaloo is out of the jurisdiction. However, Acting President Wade Mark informed the opposition leader that he sought legal advice to make the substantive appointment. Questions could not be posed to the new or outgoing CJs, as members of the media were not invited to the swearing-in. Doris Polo, CNC3 News.
Well, following remarks from outgoing Chief Justice Ivor Archie, who said he believed the judiciary is in a better place since 2008, we asked if you agreed with his comments or if improvements are needed.
Here's what you had to say.
The People Say, brought to you by Excel Health TT, the official supplement of the CPI.
It's the same day, no improvement.
I haven't noticed any difference, but they're trying, I suppose.
If you was doing a good job, then would I be better off today? Not better off today. Did you history 18 a mess?
You still have a backlog of cases in the court system. If you get a ticket from the, if you get a ticket now, you have to wait, 2 to 3 years to contest that ticket. So I don't see any difference. I think it worse, actually.
No, I don't believe it's in a better place. I think it's actually a bit worse. You know, in that we have the same delays in cases and expediting petty matters that crowd the court.
I can't really say on a level if he made a contribution. What I could do is tell the incoming one, try to do some introspection. Let we have one law across the board for all citizens, and just the law working for certain citizens and not working for some.
The People Say, brought to you by Excel Health TT, the official supplement of the CPI.
Venezuela's Vice President Delcy Rodriguez says Trinidad and Tobago's economy could collapse without access to gas from the Dragon field located in Venezuelan waters. She emphasized that it's Venezuela and not the United States that holds the key to the energy lifeline that TNT urgently needs. Rodriguez explains that any gas transactions must be conducted directly with the Venezuelan government under international trade agreements. She accuses the U.S. of misleading Prime Minister Kamal Bissessa regarding a new license to explore the Dragon field. The license, backed by U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, was contingent on ensuring the Maduro regime does not benefit. At the time, Rubio had stressed the project's significance to TNT's economic stability and regional energy security.
Si Venezuela no le exporta el gas a Trinidad, colapsa la economía de ese país y va a impactar en el Caribe. El presidente Maduro siempre ha sido muy responsable. Legado del comandante Chávez, lo que fue Petrocaribe para los países del Caribe. Bueno, perturbaron, bloquearon. Estados Unidos bloqueó el programa Petrocaribe. Miren cómo está Haití.
Rodriguez was speaking during the Venezuela Productiva 2025 Business Expo.
Well, with heightened international tensions in the region, Chief Secretary Fali Augustin says the Tobago House of Assembly will continue to follow central government's position on matters of foreign policy, including its stance on the Venezuela-U.S. matter.
Augustin was responding to questions about the United States security alert over the weekend and government's decision to abstain from a vote among CARICOM members to maintain peace in the zone.
He said the THA has no authority over foreign affairs. He said it is the responsibility of the central government, and the THA will not take a separate position as it has always done in the past.
This government has adopted some positions with regards to America's positioning within the Caribbean region and international waters, might I add. And so we have no choice but to respect the government's decision therein.
Augustin has also asked Tobago fishermen to operate only in Trinidad and Tobago waters and to avoid entering outside territory without proper clearance.
Well, there's still no official confirmation from local authorities on the identities of the men killed in a recent U.S. airstrike.
But relatives and friends of Chad Joseph, one of the 2 TNT nationals they believe were killed in the strike, gathered this evening to remember his life, even without a body. Jensen
Leven is in Las Cuevas, where the memorial is being held. Here's his report.
Relatives and friends of Chad Joseph gathered here at the St. Michael's RC Church in Las Cuevas this evening to celebrate the life of the 26-year-old killed in a U.S. airstrike on October 14th. A simultaneous memorial is being held by his mother, Lenore Burnley, at her home in Matlet. Joseph spent most of his life here in the Las Cuevas village. Parish priest Father Kenneth Assing reminded those in mourning that death is inevitable. He said Chad's death was tragic as he acknowledged the pain his unexpected killing caused the family. He encouraged them, saying God can bring them joy, as that is the only comfort they can receive at this time. He says the burden of his death will be heavy for those who loved him, and that burden will be there for a long time. Those gathered recalled him being loved by all in the village, while his Aunt Lynette Burnley prayed that the Lord keeps him in his bosom. His cousin says the family is taking it one day at a time and finds that the government's lack of response disheartening. Jensen Lavende, CNC3 News, Las Cuevas.
And 1 week after the 2 Trinidadians were killed in a U.S. military strike, Icacos residents say they aren't particularly fearful of being caught in the crossfire of military activity.
But as life goes on in the southwestern coast, the residents say they are aware and remains vigilant of what's happening at sea. Shane Superville and Ricardo Bernard visited Icacos for this story.
Not much has changed for Icacos villagers over the past few months as U.S. military operations continue off the coast of Venezuela. At their closest point, Icacos is located just under 18 kilometers away from Venezuela, which is even visible from the coastline. When CNC3 News visited Icacos Beach, several fishermen told us they weren't concerned by the recent military strikes and continued their activities as normal. But for fisherman Darius Dipchan, the fear of being mistaken for a drug boat was unlikely, but a real possibility for many of his fellow villagers while out at sea.
They're a little skeptical because any little thing flying, you have to be skeptical because remember, fishermen, their lives at stake, they know, you know.
Lifelong Icacos resident and coconut oil vendor Alfred John Williams told CNC3 News that while the military operations hasn't directly affected the lives of villagers, he has noticed a significant slowdown in the arrival of Venezuelans on the beachfront.
But people don't come in and go in as before, you know. So I don't know what is the situation really with right now, but the place is slow. Fishing, woolen, not near doing.
When contacted for comment, Cedros councillor Shankar Tilak Singh says while there have been no reported confrontations between fisherfolk and military vessels, he says aircraft have been sighted in the surrounding coast.
Yes, they have seen the aircrafts and them patrolling and so on. We also see our normal national security helicopters and them patrolling, which give a sense of confidence for local fishermen.
Tilak Singh also notes that fisherfolk in and around Cedros have been advised to stay within their usual zone of activity and avoid venturing too far out to sea. For most residents here on Trinidad's southwestern coast, their main concern isn't violent military confrontation, but simply being able to support themselves and their families. But as continued military operations continue off the coast of Venezuela, it's something they all agree and hope stays far away from Trinidad. Shane Superville, CNC3 News.
Thank you so much, Shane. Well, still to come in the news, Point Fortin Mayor's company received over $900,000 in CPEP payments while in office.
And later on in sport, Defence Force finds itself under the pump against Mount Pleasant in the CONCACAF Club Cup semis.
At Bagwansing's, Port of Spain and Chagonas, we are committed to providing quality products for all major building projects. Let's build together with rebars and beams, VRC coils and mats, RHS and angles, roofing sheets and purlins, lumber, plywood and MDF. Bagwansing's, building homes, building communities, building TNT for over 60 years. Bagwansing's, Port of Spain and Chagonas, building value every day.
There's been a major breakthrough in the impasse among Nutrien, the national gas company, and the National Energy Corporation.
NGC is tonight confirming it will no longer pursue 28 million TT dollars in retroactive fees and has reopened port access to the company.
As a result, Nutrien will abort its planned shutdown of its Point Lisas operations.
Andrea Perez-Sobers reports.
The National Gas Company has decided to withdraw its demand for $28 million in retroactive fees from Nutrien. Yesterday, the Canadian Fertilizer Company rejected claims by the National Energy Corporation that it owes several $1 million in retroactive port fees, triggering a standoff, forcing the company to begin a controlled shutdown of its Trinidad nitrogen operations from Thursday. NGC's Chairman Gerald Ramdeen tells CNC3 News that NEC was served with an application for an injunction by Nutrien yesterday afternoon.
This morning, myself and Dr. Motilal Ramprasad, the Director of the National Energy Corporation and the Acting President of the NGC, Mr. Edmund Sobrian, held a meeting together with Mr. Edmund Thompson and Mr. Dean Perkins of Nutrien, and we took the position that we would allow Nutrien to continue to their operations by uninhibited access of the port facilities until the 31st of December 2025.
Ramdeen notes that the parties have agreed to enter negotiations by next week as there are several outstanding issues. Former Energy Minister Caroline Sipasad Bechan says she's pleased that an amicable resolution was reached as production at companies like Nutrien is critical for TNT's economy.
Our objective is to get them back to optimum capacity so that we could boost foreign exchange earnings and, jobs. Because every time they cut their production, you know that, they don't run the full workforce, right? But that we could get it back to full capacity.
The Energy Chamber and AmCham TT were hoping for both parties to resolve the impasse, acknowledging Nutrien's critical contribution to the local economy. Andrea Perez-Sobers, CNC3 News.
The National Trade Union Centre says it stands ready to advocate on behalf of the Nutrien workers.
NATOC President Michael Anisette says the union is willing to meet with employees to develop a strategy that protects their interests if the dispute between Nutrien and National Energy Company continues. He wants both parties to work together, noting that over 400 workers could be sent home if negotiations break down.
Public Utilities Minister Barry Padaroth has assured WASA workers that no jobs will be lost despite a nearly $94 million cut in recurrent expenditure for the new fiscal year.
During today's Standing Finance Committee, Padaroth said the reduction reflects efforts to eliminate wastage and noted that any shortfalls can be addressed at the mid-year budget review. He firmly denied that the decrease signals future job cuts.
I can tell you with certainty that this administration, led by the Honourable Member for Siparia, is hell-bent on keeping WASA employees in their jobs.
Thank you very much.
We will revise once the need arises, but these are projections.
The government has already indicated the increase in NIS rates was not factored into the 2026 financial documents, and any adjustments can be made in the mid-year budget review. A company belonging to Point Fortin Mayor Clyde James earned more than $900,000 in CPEP payments while in office. A CNC3 investigation confirms that Links Limited, owned by James and his relatives, received $2 million in CPEP management fees between 2021 and 2025. James became mayor in August of 2023, and the payments continued. We sought a response from the mayor, but questions were not answered. Both a borough corporation and a contracted CPEP company are responsible for some environmental services. Earlier this week, a Guardian report revealed that a company linked to Laventille West MP Kareem Marcel also earned $2 million from CPEP during the same period. Marcel defended the contracts, saying he was not in politics at the time. Separate CPEP contracts were awarded to companies linked to San Fernando Deputy Mayor Patricia Alexis and Councillor Nigel Coutier. CPEP's accounts have not been audited since 2017. The government announced in the 2026 budget that CPEP and URP will both be shut down.
The school supplies and book grant program is now in doubt after the education minister revealed that no funds have been allocated to it as the program is currently under review. During last evening's Standing Finance Committee, St. Anne's East MP Dr. Nian Gadsby-Dolly asked Education Minister Dr. Michael Dowlatt why there was no allocation for the program in the budget. Dowlatt simply said the government will revisit the matter in the mid-year budget review and that it is presently under review. However, Dr. Gadsby-Dolly pressed the minister on the matter and asked for clarity on it. What exactly was under review, the allocation or the entire program? Eventually, the former education minister asked bluntly if citizens will be getting the book grant for the next academic term or not.
Mr. Chairman, I am simply asking, will the book grant be given in this fiscal or will it not be given? Maybe I should clarify it.
As I indicated, Chairman, through you, that the book grant is under review.
I will take that to mean that you're not sure, Minister.
Meanwhile, Dr. Dowlatt announced that the laptops for Form 1 students, which was initially promised at the beginning of the school term, will now be delivered at the end of this term. However, Dr. Gadsby-Dolly wanted a specific date.
And can I ask what month the term ends in?
Within this term, and December.
Could I ask when does the term end?
12th, yes.
The 12th of
what are you asking?
I'm asking when the term ends. You said by the end of the term. When does the term end?
December.
December.
11th of December.
So August to September to October to December. Okay.
All right.
You.
Last evening's session also revealed that $903 million has been allocated for back pay to teachers whose union accepted a 5% salary increase at the end of the last government's term. That increase covers the 2020 to 2023 period.
As we head to a break, let's check in now with Jean-Marc.
We had partly cloudy conditions today with occasional showers over both islands, some becoming heavy at times and accompanied by gusts. There were a few short-lived thunderstorms over northern Trinidad during the afternoon, but conditions quickly settled by the evening. I have the details on what to expect for the remainder of the week and an update on Tropical Storm Melissa coming up just after the break.
What, boy? Game showing clean, dog.
Hey, it's fast internet and best entertainment I'm paying for, you know.
Yeah, girl. You heard my good, eh? Hey, the call not sticking. So why are you taking so long to reply to your messages?
Hey, I get Wi-Fi quite out here.
Yeah, boy, that's Amplia. But what are you doing outside? Come inside and lime now.
I come in there. Wi-Fi so fast, you'll be saying,
hey, it's Amplia.
From Charles Chocolates, bounce into flavor. Ping pong, everybody wants some. Roasted peanuts is the true #1. Ping pong, you better get a handful. This chocolate is so incredible. What's the snack everybody craves for? Ping pong, bounce into flavor. Chocolate coated peanuts, delicious top class A+. Ping pong, from Charles Chocolates, bounce into flavor. Food basket. Food basket, nation's #1 supermarket, bakery, restaurant, meat market, fresh producers, everything fantastic. For everyday low price, things real nice. Come in once, but to come back twice. Wholesale retail, everything for you. A real much wanna share flavor of you. Food basket, the nation's #1 supermarket, bakery, restaurant, meat market, fresh producers, everything fantastic. Food basket, marketplace Shogunas, where shopping is a pleasure and the price is right.
Get ready, shoppers. This October, it's the huge clearance sale at Jubilee Rahway. Clothes for the entire family, scarves, costume jewelry, handbags, shoes for men and women, perfumes, plus must-have BTS items and more. From October 1st to 31st, 2,025 doors open 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Daily Jubilee Rahway, number 140 Eastern Main Road, Tunapuna. Call us at 663-7477. Don't miss these unbelievable savings.
The public is demanding it, so the laughter continues. Your only foul to watch Corn is now at Central Bank Auditorium for 2 nights only. Saturday, October 25th at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday, October 26th at 6:30 p.m. Don't miss the play that some say is the funniest of all time. Tickets available now online and at the usual outlets. And from Monday, October 20th at 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily at the Central Bank box office. Your only foul to watch Corn has been matching up audiences.
Growing your food business begins here at Southern Food Basket Wholesale Distribution Center. The turnaround is fast, from container to cold storage to pickup trucks. And when we deliver, product integrity is maintained with our highly respected vehicle-powered chilling systems. So come on down to Southern Food Basket Wholesale Distribution Center, where a whole new experience awaits.
Ho, 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 ho. Start the season sweet with Jimmy Abood's annual Christmas and October sale. Get up to 60% off on curtains, sheet sets, floor mats, upholstery fabric, and more. Shop now at the last big sale of the year.
Whether you're an athlete, a business professional, or simply someone who values their health, Omega XL can empower you to keep doing what you love. Don't let joint discomfort hold you back.
Live long, stay strong with the XL brand.
Muscle Russell.
Flooring is serious business. Why take a chance? It's not a small spend, so why waste time? No doubt, CW Interiors has the widest selection of flooring. Not one or even two, but 7 different collections. Superior quality at the most competitive prices. Excellent warranties. Don't be fooled. Buy with confidence from CW Interiors, making quality affordable for over 45 years.
Jean-Marc, it was a wet weekend and it seems to be a wet week ahead.
Yes, that's correct. We may just have a break tomorrow, but the wet conditions are expected to continue this weekend again. Let's take a look at the satellite. Looking at the big picture now, we have a relatively mild intertropical convergence zone to our east, but it's not really well defined, so it's a bit difficult to see the band of clouds extending off to our east. Now, even further east, we have 2 tropical waves, which are expected to weaken as they make their way across the Atlantic. And out to our west in the Caribbean Sea, we have tropical storm Melissa, which is of no threat to Trinidad and Tobago. So taking a closer look at Melissa, over the past 2 days, Melissa has been moving at a whopping 2 miles per hour, which just happens to be the average speed of a tortoise. According to the National Hurricane Center, Melissa is expected to drift to the north, then make a left turn just south of Jamaica, at which point it's expected to rapidly intensify into a major Category 3 hurricane. Now, due to its slow movement, it poses a significant life-threatening flood risk to Jamaica, Haiti, and the Dominican Republic. A tropical storm watch is in effect for Jamaica and a hurricane watch in effect for southern areas of Haiti as well. Now back to the Eastern Caribbean, conditions have mostly settled over Trinidad with a late afternoon thunderstorm over Tobago. That same line of showers and thunderstorms also affected the Windward Islands today, while over the leewards had mostly fair conditions with just the odd shower. So our forecast for tonight, partly cloudy, becoming mostly fair, still with a few isolated showers. Overnight lows of 24 in Trinidad and a warm 27 in Tobago. Tomorrow we can expect a bit more sunshine with some breezy conditions, despite the occasional brisk daytime showers. Some of these showers can pack quite a punch as we've seen today, so they can be moderate to heavy at times and accompanied by gusts. Sea conditions are moderate with waves in open waters up to 2 meters and less than 1 meter in sheltered areas. Winds are expected out of the southeast at around 15 knots, and remember they can gust near those showers, getting up to about 25 knots. Now looking ahead, tomorrow may be the driest day for the period, but the chance of rain gradually increases again as we approach the weekend, and so far it's shaping up to be rainy on Saturday and Sunday again. Now so far the thunderstorms are likely to favor the weekend, but you'll also notice that it'll be a bit breezy at times, so that will tend to help keep the maximum daily temperatures down a bit compared to the heated conditions we had earlier in the month. So in addition to the rainfall, some sunshine with a little bit of breeze.
All right, and it is Carnival in Tobago this weekend, so people probably hoping for some sunshine.
Very, very true. Hopefully the forecast changes a bit for them in Tobago.
All right, thank you so much, Jean-Marc. Let's tell you what's still to come in the news. It's a frustrating speech impediment, but therapists say the best way to help is to be patient.
Nature's Ways Alive Kids Gummies are multivitamin gummies meant to support the development of children's bodies, like their bones, muscles, joints, brain, heart, and also their immune health. Choose Alive Kids Gummies by Nature's Way because they deserve it.
Welcome to the speed round of getting money right. Let's begin. Name some of the red flags associated with an investment scam.
Pressure tactics to invest.
Correct.
Promise of money if you bring friends.
Correct.
Request for personal information.
Correct. Bonus question. What is the penalty for operating a pyramid or Ponzi scheme?
$10 million and 10 years in prison.
Correct. Well done. The scores are even, so we go to our tiebreaker question. You receive money in your account from an investment company, and they tell you to transfer it to a third account. Does that sound right?
I think about it, and that's not right.
Congratulations, you tinker. Getting Money Right is brought to you by the TTSEC. Visit investigatett.com to access free learning resources and check the TTSEC for a list of registered individuals and securities. The Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. You invest, we protect, everyone benefits.
Millions of people are attacked by harmful mouth bacteria. The root cause of bad breath, gum problems, cavities, plaque, and tartar. That's why Colgate combined the best science and technology in Colgate Total. Unlike others, its superior formula fights bacteria and creates a powerful protective barrier for up to 24 hours to prevent them from coming back. Take control of your oral health with Colgate Total.
My mom has been shopping here for the last 15 years. So coming here with her, now I have my own family.
The variety of items, cleanliness of the place, the spaciousness.
My favorite section is household.
My husband loves the hardware section and the auto section. My favorite would be stationery.
Price Club is the low price leading supermarket in TNT.
They are the best. I would recommend Price Club to anybody.
For those who try Omega XL and they say it didn't work, try it again.
Whatever I was using, this Omega is the best.
Remember, you deserve the best. Choose Omega XL, a supplement that I can assure you is committed to helping you live a long life and a strong life.
Live long, stay strong
with Omega XL.
Available nationwide. Visit your local pharmacy or health food store today.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry, premier insurance coverage for less.
Growing your food business begins here at Southern Food Basket Wholesale Distribution Center. The turnaround is fast, from container to cold storage to pickup trucks. And when we deliver, product integrity is maintained with our highly respected vehicle-powered chilling systems. So come on down to Southern Food Basket Wholesale Distribution Center, where a whole new experience awaits.
Science calls it AMPK, your body's built-in system for burning fat, balancing blood sugar, and fueling energy. Berberine Plus naturally supports AMPK, helping you feel better, live better, be better. Available at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Berberine Plus, powerful results naturally.
Ho, 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 ho. Start the season sweet with Jimmy Aboud's annual Christmas and October sale. Get up to 60% off on curtains, sheet sets, floor mats, upholstery fabric, and more. Shop now at the last big sale of the year.
Food Basket. Food Basket, nation's #1 supermarket, bakery, restaurant, meat market, fresh produce and everything fantastic. For everyday low price, things real nice. Come in once, but to come back twice. Wholesale retail, everything for you. A real much wanna shop for go view. Food Basket, the nation's #1 supermarket, bakery, restaurant, meat market, fresh produce and everything fantastic. Food Basket, Marketplace Go View, where shopping is a pleasure and the price is right.
For the second time in under a month, a prominent attorney's office in San Fernando has been firebombed.
The incident occurred just after 3 o'clock this morning at Syra Lacan's office. The first attack occurred on September 25th when a single Molotov cocktail was thrown at her office front door at Lewis Street. While it burned for nearly 2 hours, it did not set the building on fire. This time, the suspect jumped the fence and used 2 Molotov cocktails, one placed directly at the front door, causing the fire damage, and another positioned on top of the electrical panel outside the building. Fortunately, there was no significant structural damage. Lacan says she has her suspicions, and several leads have been provided to police but declined to give details. Lacan, who leads an all-female firm of 4 attorneys, says her team is traumatized but determined to continue their work.
If such a message was sent to me via intimidation, I'm not afraid. I will continue to do what I have to do through my job as an attorney at law, and I will rely on the court system and our present system in place to do the needful in terms of provide justice.
Her colleague and friend, attorney Prakash Ramadar, is concerned that the attacks seem to be more brazen. No suspects have been arrested.
Well, today marks International Stuttering Awareness Day. It's a global call to understanding a speech disorder that affects millions, yet it is often misunderstood.
In tonight's Wellness Wednesday, we're diving into the complex world of stuttering, exploring what causes it, how it can be treated, and the stigma many people who stutter still face every day.
Here's Janelle Bernard with the story.
Wellness Wednesday, brought to you by BioStrath. Get what you need naturally.
Stuttering affects an estimated 1% of the world's population. According to the association dedicated to the speech disorder, that's more than 80 million people. Awareness efforts aim to increase an understanding of stuttering, celebrate people who stutter, and advocate for greater inclusion and support.
Despite the growing awareness, social stigma persists. So people who stutter may be unfairly perceived as anxious, less confident, less competent, and those stereotypes, if we are honest, are inaccurate and damaging. The stigma then can affect the self-esteem, the participation, and social and professional opportunities.
Stuttering, also known as stammering, is a difference in speech characterized by repetitions, prolongations, and blocks. President of TNT Speech Language Audiology Association and speech language pathologist Natasha Scott Bernard explains that there are many different causes.
And there can be something as complicated as brain injury that may cause neurological deficits that may impact the speech and language center of the brain. Sometimes after a stroke. There's many different things that can happen as an adult.
Stuttering also affects children.
A lot of times there's a period of natural stuttering that happens for kids and parents may call concerned. And I encourage them to monitor closely. It is something that we want to keep tabs on to see if it does persist past a period of typical development.
Understanding risk factors can help parents and caregivers identify when to seek professional help.
There's genetic factors at play. So if you know there's family history of someone who may have stuttered growing up, the child may be more at risk for a certain period of that. And then again, of course, the neurological ones, if there's any sort of brain injury or something like that.
And what can the average person do to help?
Be patient. Allow the person to finish what they have to say without interruption.
Scott Bernard says there is help for families and individuals affected by stuttering. Some resources can be found at the Stuttering Foundation, which has tips for caregivers, teachers, and employers. Janelle Bernard, CNC3 News.
Wellness Wednesday, brought to you by BioStrath. Get what you need naturally.
All right, it's now time for sport. Let's hand you over to Jassy.
Thank you, Ryan. After the break, we'll tell you Game 2 hero Akil Hussain calls for better batsmanship as the West Indies goes after an ODI series win in Bangladesh. Stick around. Sport is after the break.
Growing your food business begins here at Southern Food Basket Wholesale Distribution Center. The turnaround is fast, from container to cold storage to pickup trucks. And when we deliver, product integrity is maintained with our highly respected vehicle-powered chilling systems. So come on down to Southern Food Basket Wholesale Distribution Center, where a whole new experience awaits.
Flooring is serious business. Why take a chance? It's not a small spend, so why waste time? No doubt, CW Interiors has the widest selection of flooring. Not one or even two, but 7 different collections. Superior quality at the most competitive prices. Excellent warranties. Don't be fooled. Buy with confidence from CW Interiors, making quality affordable for over 45 years.
Dress like you mean business. At The Working Woman, we bring you stylish, professional looks made for the modern woman. From casual to formal workwear, we've got your professional wardrobe covered.
Problems? Don't guess. Call Plumbing Solutions at 628-4646. Proud to be serving Trinidad and Tobago for over 20 years. We do it all. Maintenance and repairs, new construction, sewer lines, inspection, drain cleaning, leak detection. We are licensed and insured. So call Plumbing Solutions at 628-4646.
Folks, take a look at all these medical conditions. What does it have in common? This, ITIS. But what does ITIS really mean?
The suffix itis denotes inflammation of a specified organ or tissue.
ITIS really means inflammation. How do we combat chronic inflammation? Through lifestyle changes. Then, and only then, make sure you're getting enough omega-3 fatty acids.
Always consult a qualified medical professional before starting any supplements.
Do you know that Neo Eyewear was the first to offer the Ray-Ban Meta glasses in Trinidad?
And yes, they are genuine and authentic, with different colors and sizes to match your style. With these glasses, you can listen to music, take calls hands-free, pictures, and even videos.
And yes, they offer a free eye test.
And back to school sale, frames, lens for $200. You heard me right, $200 for frames, lens, eye test, everything. So what are you waiting for? See your way with Neo Eyewear.
Southern Food Basket. Quality food to fill your basket. Get it all at Southern Food Basket. Fresh goods on every aisle with best prices. For the best market around. High quality meats pound for pound. Get the best for less. Start shopping. Go to Southern Food Basket. Shopping how you like it. High quality at the best prices. Every aisle just right and special. So at Southern Food Basket, good food at great prices for sure. Come get what you're looking for.
Welcome back. It's time for sport now. The 2025 SSFL Boys Premiership Division race was blown wide open today when the previously undefeated Naparima College suffered its first loss of the season, inflicted by none other than eternal rivals Presentation College San Fernando. What turned out to be the winning item for Prez came in the first half, added on time when Josiah Bain's strike from range hit the crossbar and rebounded in off the back of the Naparima goalkeeper Mikhail Clement. 1-0 was how it ended, and to rub salt into Naparima's wounds, that defeat came on their own home ground at Lewis Street, San Fernando. We'll have a full recap of the round 10 in tomorrow's Sportcast. The Defense Force, meanwhile, is under the cosh as the minutes take away in their CONCACAF Cup semi-final against Jamaica's Mount Pleasant FA. Failing to heed Devon Josling's vow to make TNT the center of Caribbean football once again, Mount Pleasant stormed into a 5th-minute lead at the Hazley Crawford Stadium as Warner Brown got the goal. Initially, it was ruled offside, but it was only confirmed after a review by the video assistant. The same player had the ball in the back of the net again 3 minutes later, but once again, his celebrations were cut by the assistant referee's offside flag, this time legitimately. Mount Pleasant's strike in the 15th minute, however, was undeniable. Raheem Edwards latching on to a long punt, and after outsprinting Sheldon Bateau, he prodded it home. That made it 2-0 to Mount Pleasant at half-time, and the same player netted again in the 58th to give them a 3-0 cushion. They are well on the way to winning that match, the team from Jamaica. International School of Port of Spain and Nelson Street Boys RC progressed to the semi-finals of the primary schools football's Port of Spain and Environs division yesterday. Gaston Cupid reports.
Defending under-11 division champs, International School of Port of Spain in the blue and white took on Eastern Boys Government on the training pitch of the Hazley Crawford Stadium. ISPS got goals from Scott Lazari, Jackson Ricks and William Shaw in their 3-1 victory to top Group B. Josiah Goodridge was the lone scorer for Eastern Boys. Nelson Street Boys RC won Group A when they spanked Diamond Vale Government 4-0. Tafarai Charles and the captain Kamali Rose both scored double in the victory. The under-11 semi-final lineup will see ISPS attempting to continue to hold on to the title, taking on Group D winners Newtown Boys RC, while Nelson Street Boys RC will battle Group C winners Bethlehem Boys RC. The semi-finals are carded for this Friday at the Hazley Crawford Stadium from 9:30 a.m. Caston Cupid, CNC3 Sport.
The Basilon Street Community Center will remain closed until security and structural issues are fixed. Despite being recommissioned in April, Minister of Sport and Youth Affairs Philip Watts said the venue has not been handed over by contractors.
6 months after a ribbon ceremony was held, the Basilon Street Community Center is yet to be fully reopened. In the Standing Finance Committee meeting last evening, Minister of Sport and Youth Affairs Philip Watts revealed why.
Actually, the contractor was supposed to supply computers. The computers under the purview of the contractor was stolen. So therefore, the ministry will not take the keys for the facility, because if we do that, the defect liability period will start. So we await the contractor to replace the computers.
In addition to the stolen computers, Minister Watts revealed structural issues.
When our officers went to Basilon Street to do a visit to take over the building and take the keys from the contractor, there was snagging that was supposed to be done, and he did not complete the snagging.
Also at the Standing Finance Committee, it was revealed that no allocation was made for the Diego Martin Regional Sports Complex, as a project is currently under review. Ian Wason, CNC3 Sport.
The West Indies ODI team goes after a series win against Bangladesh when the third and final match of the series bowls off on Thursday morning. After tasting defeat in Game 1, the visiting team squeezed out a win in Game 2 on Tuesday in Mirpur. The West Indies deployed 5 bowlers on a sticky pitch, all of them spinners, on the way to setting a new ODI record of bowling 50 overs of spin. The match still went into a super over where Akil Hussain proved instrumental despite joining the team hours before as a late injury replacement. Even for him, though, the outcome was emblematic of a wider, persisting problem.
I won't say we have cracked the code. I think we need to show a lot more batsmanship, especially from the maybe top half. You know, it's quite a difficult job to ask the lower order to hang in against, you know, some good spinners, and obviously it's a fairly used ball as well. We looked like we had it covered from early on, and we just, you know, took it for granted and allowed them to get back in the game. So that's one wrong that we have to fix, and I think once we do that and we can set up the game, hopefully we can win that third one easier.
Well, Game 3 begins at 3:30 a.m. on Thursday. The Trinidad and Tobago Red Force team's first trial match has been postponed to Thursday after persistent rain left the outfield at the National Cricket Centre too wet to accommodate play today. The players under head coach Riyad Emrit still managed to make good use of their day, training indoors instead. Emrit also told CNC3 Sport resourcefulness will be key to putting the best possible preparations in ahead of the Super 50 tournament.
It's gotten close to the time that we have to select the team. The team should be selected at the end of the month, and we have 3 planned trial matches. As I said before, unfortunately, today was one of the days that we had the games planned for, but it was cancelled due to the weather.
Emirates is expecting the Red Force to put on a strong title defense despite being unlikely to field a full-strength team when the tournament begins on November 19th.
We will be missing a few of our key players, Anderson Phillip, Jaden Seals, Amir Django, and Kari Pierre. So we need to make sure that we have a squad who is equipped to replace those guys. They are senior players in the team, and they are the ones who, basically the kind of backbone of the team. So we need to make sure that we pick a squad with the guys who can replace these players.
The country's under-19 and under-21 women's volleyball teams have commenced preparations almost a year in advance of next year's Caribbean Volleyball Championships. Recently victorious with the senior women's team at the Caribbean Championships, Dion Hutchinson will try to replicate that success with the younger groups.
Right now in training, we have approximately 110 athletes in training right now, comprised of both the under-19 and under-21 athletes. We have a really good group, talented group of athletes. You could see 3 national teams coming out of this one group.
TNT under-19 and under-21 women's volleyball head coach Dion Hutchinson has commenced preparations for the 2026 Caribbean Volleyball Championships, which will be played next July. However, anticipating the kind of selection headaches coaches love, Hutchinson is happy to do the work from now.
So the actual training will be ongoing from now till next year, April. Next year, April, we'll start making cuts to the actual training program. So it's a long-term development program in the aim to develop all the athletes in Trinidad and Tobago to get them to be at a higher level. So our goal is after this, some of the athletes that doesn't make this team hopefully will make the other teams, and the program hopefully will continue throughout.
Included among his abundance of talent is America-born outside hitter Sydney Salandi, a 15-year-old from Coral Springs, Florida, who has impressed Hutchinson and his staff sufficiently during her first screening session last month.
Based on I seen her train over the last week, this weekend here, I'm able to say that I am going to select her for the national under-19 team. Later down, she will come back to screen for the national under-21 team.
I'm excited to be back at the country my parents are from and to represent them, and I'm just excited to play with the team. And I'll be coming back to try for the U21 team and then maybe the senior team. I'm excited to be trying out for them. I hope I can.
Along with TNT parentage, Salandi also comes from good volleyball pedigree, as she was first introduced to the sport by former TNT indoor and beach volleyball player Letitia Joseph. We wish her and the team all the best in their preparations. Now, our sport high tonight comes from the opening night of the NBA. The Thunder needed double overtime to beat the Rockets, and Aaron Wiggins was already handing out posters. Look how he took it down the lane in a cluster and over Capella. Yes, what a monster slam. So Aaron Wiggins, for that opening night slam, you earn tonight's CNC3 Sport High. That's it for sport, guys.
All right, thank you so much, Jassy. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Growing your food business begins here at Southern Food Basket Wholesale Distribution Center. The turnaround is fast, from container to cold storage to pickup trucks. And when we deliver, product integrity is maintained with our highly respected vehicle-powered chilling systems. So come on down to Southern Food Basket Wholesale Distribution Center, where a whole new experience awaits.
Recession have you down? Don't lose hope. Head on down to Tire Clinic for the recession deals. That should big savings with our road hazard warranty on Dunlop, Sumitomo, and Falcon tires. Available at Tire Clinic, Cuba, Chaguanas, and Pleasance Park. Tire Clinic, a tire for every need. Call 636-8973 or 636-2958.
Would you recommend this product to younger people?
Age doesn't really matter. So I think if I was 17, 18 and I get introduced to these products, I would maybe be Superman. So
more Superman.
Don't forget, we are Food Basket Superstore right here in Arima. Come see for yourself. From stationeries to household items and so much more right here at Food Basket Superstore in Arima.
I really love the variety. There's something for everyone here.
If you could see what the future holds, you'd see that while things change, you've still got it. You are strong, resilient, inspiring, and you won't be defined by time. You'll own every minute of it because you were made for more. Discover how Alive multivitamins by Nature's Way help you age vibrantly.
Growing your food business begins here at Southern Food Basket Wholesale Distribution Center. The turnaround is fast, from container to cold storage to pickup trucks. And when we deliver, product integrity is maintained with our highly respected vehicle-powered chilling systems. So come on down to Southern Food Basket Wholesale Distribution Center, where a whole new experience awaits.
Three men previously held in connection with businessman Imran Ali's murder have now been charged with unlawfully moving a body under the Coroner's Act.
The accused are 29-year-old Isaiah Maiku and 27-year-old Isaiah Mohammed, both from Karapi Chaima, and 31-year-old Annabelle Iguanetti Mashes of Charleville. They appeared before Master of the High Court today. Maiku and Mohammed were each granted $80,000 bail and will return to court on July 7th, 2026. Mashes was denied bail due to weak ties to TNT. He's also scheduled to reappear on July 7th of next year. The trio was initially detained on October 9th and formally charged on October 17th. The murder investigation remains active.
A man abandoned his vehicle and jumped into a river in a desperate bid to evade arrest, leaving behind nearly $5.5 million worth of marijuana.
Police say they received information about a car transporting firearms and narcotics heading out of Maracas yesterday. Officers intercepted the vehicle near the pillars and pursued it through Santa Cruz. The chase ended along Saddle Road, where the driver ditched the car and jumped off a bridge into the river below.
Inside the abandoned vehicle, officers discovered 3 bales containing 90 bricks of marijuana stashed in the trunk. The drugs carry an estimated street value just shy of $5.5 million. Tonight, the suspect remains on the run and the search continues. With just 6 weeks left before the term of the Tobago House of Assembly expires, Chief Secretary Farley Augustine is not giving any indication as to when Tobago will head to the polls.
Augustine says no decision has been taken on when the House will be dissolved, and that will determine the election date. He says once the House is dissolved, the law allows 2 to 3 months for an election to be held, but there's no timeline just yet. Augustine says his party, the Tobago People's Party, has completed nominations and will begin screening candidates after Tobago's Carnival.
So the election can be any time. The decision that we have to make is whether the House will dissolve on its anniversary for itself or whether the House will meet and decide to dissolve prior to. That has not been decided as yet, and that will ultimately trigger when election could possibly be called.
Well, the PNM has completed its screening process and has selected all 15 candidates.
Meanwhile, the PDP says its screening process is happening quietly within the various communities. The THA term expires on December 6th.
It's time to recap our headlines. Less than a day after Archie's exit, Ronnie Budu Singh is sworn in as TNT's new Chief Justice.
The opposition claims a lack of consultation in the appointment of the Chief Justice.
In sport, Presentation College San Fernando hands Naparima its first defeat of the season as the SSFL title race is blown wide open.
And in the weather for tomorrow, sunny and breezy conditions will be interrupted by occasional brisk showers.
As we leave you, let's remind you to stay connected with us on our social media platforms.
There you'll find tonight's stories, the latest updates and exclusive content, and don't forget to pick up a copy of the TNT Guardian newspaper.
We've come to the end of the 7 p.m. news on CNC3. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ria Rambley.
I'm Ryan Bechu.
I am Jassi Marie.
And I'm Jama Krampasad. Have a good night.
You're watching CNC3.